Honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostles and elders, great millstone, who teach very well where I learned this truth from, and salutation out there to the hopeful elect, who continue to push this word in all truth, faith, and sincerity, and also shalom to the many children who sincerely believe upon the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua. So like you now today, just basically getting on the reason why we in this position, man. The reason why we went into captivity. Because ultimately, we disobeyed the Lord. We transgressed against our true power, man. You know? So let's go ahead and get this, because it basically, for lack of better words, it was an agreement. It was a covenant that we made with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And basically, if you transgress that covenant or transgress that contract, for the lack of better words, it was consequences. And when we're basically paying for the consequences of our actions, man. That's why when you read Deuteronomy 28 and 15 on down, it's actually telling you the consequences for not being obedient unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Let's go ahead and get this in Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, and basically not hearken unto the Lord, it's not hearken unto his laws, man. Not hearken unto the things that he set up, man. Because like the scriptures say, obedience is better than sacrifice, man. You know? And back in the day, we wasn't obedient. We fell short. Read this again. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and statutes, which I have commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And once you read these curses, this actually playing out right before our eyes right now, man. And again, it's just not no random act. It was actually prophecy for us to go into slavery. It was prophecy for us to be scattered. It was actually prophecy for us to serve and worship other gods, to be discontinued from our heritage, man. That was actually a prophecy that the Lord had pushed out there, man. And it actually, for lack of better words, it became reality, man. Let's go ahead and jump down. Deuteronomy 28, and I'm going to start at verse 64. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. And that's what he did, man. Because the nation of Israel is like a speckled bird, man. It's certain Israelites that might look like a Moabite, but their bloodline goes back into what? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Read this again. It says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even to the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Yes, because we did serve other gods. We was once worshipers of JC, man. No, we was once worshipers of this American society, trying to find what's the American dream. We all worshiped that at one point until Yahweh Shem Yahushua woke us up, man. Like it says, we have fell away, but we have to seek him 10 times more, man. Because for lack of better words, man, we have a lot to catch up on. Because this Western society have basically polluted your mind how things are really supposed to be. The Western society teach you to simp. The Western society teach you to be the ultimate slave unto Esau. This Western society was actually made to destroy you, man. And we have to look towards the east to get our mind back right. Let's continue on in verse 5. It says, and among these nations, thou shalt find no ease. Yes, man. Because even once you go over here into the land of Moab, Asia, or whatever you want to call it, it's a set of Moabites that's actually dark-skinned and have woolly hair and slanted eyes. Now, you might say that's just a black Chinese person, but actually, that's an Israelite, man. Go over there into India. We're going to India. It's basically a ghetto, man. You know, when you go to India, it's certain areas in India that look just like Haiti, man. You know? But at the same time, before Haiti got hit with the earthquake, it's certain areas in India that look just like Haiti, man. And again, it's the slums, it's the ghettos, the bottom of the barrel live there, the lowest, the lowest people, so-called grimy people, what they call them, the useless eaters. That's what Esau called them, live there. But actually, they're nothing but Israelites, man. And that's why they're in that condition, because they are not going to have no ease. No matter where you go, Israelites are always going to be at the bottom of the barrel. Why? Because Edom is on top. If Edom is on top, Israel is going to be on bottom. When Israel on top, Edom is going to be on bottom, man. Read this again, though. It says, and among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and the failing eyes, and the sorrow of mind. So wherever you go, whether it's America, America is the worst, but whether it's America, Brazil, Mexico, you're not going to find no rest in this place. Because why? This place is not your rest. Like it says that in Micah 2:10, arise and depart, for this is not your rest. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction, man. So you shouldn't even be looking to rest in this place. Verse 66, in thy life shall hang in doubt before thee. And again, you get pulled up by the police, your heart shaking. Your stomach hit your back. Your heart hit your bowels. You know what I'm saying? For lack of better words, you nervous. You could be A1 day one, man, but you still is gonna have a sense of nerves. A sense of fear, because this is not your kingdom. This devil, he can shoot you down and he can get off on it, man. Read this again. It says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. And that's how it is, man. That's why America is called the valley of the shadow of death. At every corner, man, you can die, man. Somebody can put some of your food. They can put some fentanyl in your McDonald's burger, and now you fucked up for life, man. That's the type of thing that Americans breed. Americans breed nothing but death, man. And again, you go deeper. You go into these different other nations, man. You go into Gad. Gad, they live on these reservations. Basically, once they go into the city, it be Esau lurking, to basically take them out, man. Like it says in Psalms 10. Let's get that real quick, man. Because Psalms 10 apply all across the world for Israelites, man. This is the book of Psalms 10. Psalms 10, and I'm going to start at verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. And that's so ultimately talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Because everything that he speaks unto you is lies. Because one thing about Esau Edom, Bill Gates, BG, he's banned from India for testing different type of biochemical weapons over there, man. Giving people syphilis, making certain women sterile. You think those women were just Elam? No, those women was Israelites, man. Because that's who Esau have his eyes privily set against. Continuing on, though. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. And again, no matter where you go at, you can go to Brent. You know what I'm saying? You can go to Germany or whatever. It's going to be a set of people. That's the Lord. Now, I'm not saying that, Jake can't make it, but majority of the Jake is in ghettos, man. Majority of the Jake is at the bottom, bro. And again, it's not no this, that, and the third, just because it's because Yahweh Shema Shah. We transgress his laws, man. That's why we are freed and fair to these other nations, man. That's why these nations can come and lick the sores off our wounds, man. Because ultimately we transgress against the Lord. But now we're seeking him 10 times more. And this is the biggest thing that fears Esau, man. This is the biggest thing that make these other nations shaking their boots, man. Ultimately, us returning unto our power. Us waking up and claiming our rightful heritage, man. Let's get this real quick. This is the book of Revelations 11. Salakia. Revelations 11 in verse 11. It says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered unto them. Now, what is that talking about, man? After, Yahweh Shai died, And after a period of time, for the lack of better words, the Lord sent the Holy Spirit, man. By the way of Abba Bivens, High Priest Ariel, King Mashah, High Priest Yaikwab, Elder High Priest Yaikwab, by those men going down to Apostle Sahar and Apostles of Great Millstone, man. That's when that spirit enters the planet Earth, and that's when these devils really started to get afraid, man. Because now, you can give us body shots, you can give us that jab, but now since we have that spirit, now since we woken up in the spirit, these devils, they can't do nothing, man. They know that time is a ticking clock. It says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered unto them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them, which saw them. Yes, great fear is falling upon these devils, man. Great fear is falling upon Esau, Edom. Because while we woke up into this truth, man, we woke up into who we really are. And ultimately, we woke up into why this happened unto us, man. Because this ain't happened unto us, just, a random event. No, this was a prophecy why this happened. Let's get this in Baruch. This is the book of Baruch 4. I'm going to jump down to verse 6. And it says, you were not sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies. Yes, man. We were delivered unto the enemies. We were into slavery. We were at the bottom because ultimately, why we moved the Lord unto wrath, man. Continuing on. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrifices unto devils. And you read the book of Judges, man. It's always the same story. After Caleb died, the Lord raised up Caleb's brother. And as soon as Caleb's brother died, Israel sinned against the Lord again. That's the you make up the breakup. That's the relationship between Israel and the Most High, man. That's a song. Make up just to break up. That's all we do, and that's all Israel and the Most High do, man. But now, since we woke up this time, since we making up this time, this covenant and this makeup is going to be a perpetual makeup, man. It's going to be a perpetual covenant, man. This time we're never going to transgress against the Lord, man. This time we're never going to go off in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. Once we get those new bodies, man, and we get into the kingdom of heaven, man, the things that we're going to do is going to be pleasing unto the Lord, man. Continuing on, though. It says, ye have forgotten the everlasting power that have brought you up, and ye have grieved Jerusalem that nourished you. Yes, man. Because ultimately, when Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked, because Jacob getting that proud spirit. Once Jake got some money in their pocket, Jake, getting on a certain level, get this or get that, Jake feel like you can't tell him shit, man. He feel like that even the Most High couldn't tell him shit, man. And that's why you realize why the Lord put us into captivity to ultimately humble us, man. Because, we're the greatest nation. Yes, we're the greatest people upon the planet Earth, man. But we have to be humble. We have to realize where our power came from. Our power didn't come from, just out of nowhere. No, our power came from the heavens and earth, man. You have to realize, man, Israel, Yasharallah, he is the prince of the power. We are the sons of the Most High. Man, that's where we get our power source from, man. But again, in the ancient world back in the day, we fell away from that, man. But again, since now we came back into it, we have to seek him 10 times more. It says that in Baruch the 3rd chapter. But let's continue on, though. It says, Salakia. It says, for when, Salakia Akim, it says, for when she saw the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, she said, hearken. Yes, man. Because the prophets tell you to hearken unto the Lord, man. Because every time something went down, the Lord sent his prophets out there to warn you, man. And that's what we're in the stead today, man. We're telling you to come back into your true power. Continuing on, she said, hearken, O ye that dwell about Zion, the Most High hath brought upon me great mourning. For I saw the captivity of my sons and daughters, with the everlasting brought upon them. And guess what? The everlasting power, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, is the one that orchestrated, this movie, man. They orchestrated 70 AD. They orchestrated the international slave trade, man. Even though he used different characters like Ishmael and Edom to play different parts, but ultimately Israel was the main character, man. Israel was the main ones affected, man. Who was the main ones affected from 70 AD? Who was the main ones affected from the times of slavery? Who was the main ones affected during the Civil Rights Movement, man? No other nation except the nation of Israel. Continuing on them. It says, with joy did I nourish them, but sent them away with weeping and mourning. And again, we go back into the past time, man. Back in the day. Yes, no, Israel is a fruitful land, man. Israel is the best land upon the planet Earth, man. But again, it got in Jake's head for the lack of better words. They thought, y'all don't need, it's me. I got this harvest because of me. I got all this grain because of me. You know what I'm saying? I got all this fruit because of me. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that Yahweh Shema Shai gave you that Yahweh Shema Shai put you in that estate. Even Ephraim. You know what the scriptures say? Ephraim is joined unto idols, man. They worshiping this God instead of you worshiping Yahweh Shema Shai for a good harvest. They'll worship the gods of the Assyrians, man. They'll go worship Azareth or some crazy god like that instead of giving praise unto the power that really did it, man. Continuing on them. It says, let no man rejoice over me, a widow, and forsaken of many, yes, man, who for the sins of my children and left desolate, because they departed from the law of the Most High. And that's why we in this position, man, because we departed from the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. A widow is a woman that's helpless, man, that lose everything, and basically you feel sorry for her, man, because her stability, the man that she trusted in died. In Israel, the man that was trusted in, he died, man. And basically, once, it been a freedom frenzy, we fell away from our heritage. Matter of fact, let's get that. Because ultimately, it says we in this position because we discontinue from the law of the Most High, man. No, Israel is that commonly and delicate woman, man. But the Lord have forsaken us. Why? Because we have forsaken him, man. Let's get this in Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. It says, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. And again, bro, it says, and even thou shalt discontinue. It says, and even thou, even thyself, which meaning what? Nobody was excluded. Even King David had to come serve captivity, man. Even King David had to come and serve his captivity in the West, man. Read this again. It says, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knewest not. Yes, man. We in this position because we transgress against our power, man. And now we in a land serving an enemy, man. We're in captivity. Continuing on. It says, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Yes, man, because ultimately, a lot of these they trust in Esau. They trust in this word, this world. So like they trust in this world. They trust in the things that Esau have to offer them instead of trusting the power that actually created you, man. And that's how we discontinue from our heritage, man. Whether it been back in the day in the times of Nehemiah, women, you have a Moabite women. She put that box on you. Now you serving another god. Now you're not teaching your kids the Israelite heritage. Whether it be back in the times of Jeroboam, Rehoboam. When the kingdom was split, the nation was divided, and the northern tribe went to serve other idols. Or whether it be now, man, when Jake damn serving social media and serving all guys, man. But like the Lord said, he will always leave a very small remnant that will return, man. Let's look that up, man. Let's end this off on that. The Lord will always leave a remnant that's going to return unto him, man. Because like it says in the book of Sirach, it says what? As birds resort unto their kind, so will the truth return to those that practice unto her, man. So the Lord will always leave the Lord will always leave a remnant that will always return unto him, man. This is the book of Isaiah 10 and verse 21. It says, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power. And that's the elect, man. The 144,000 and the 1/3, they'll return into their true power, man. So they will actually recognize the order of the Lord, man. And respect it and be obedient unto it, man. Yeah, even though we went out, even though we was a part of going into slavery, we was a part of serving those other idols, man. But now, again, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel, we came back, and that remnant is seeking him 10 times more. So I want to say, Call Allah, Yahweh Shemel, by Shemel Kakodash, Salomon, 38 in the Bible.